Welcome back, players. I'm Jack with 36 Cancel, and this is Coco the Weiss Cat. So often, people wonder if older sets can compete with the newer, more powerful expansions, and honestly, if we're talking a difference of 4+ years in progress in the game, probably not. Like, I'm sorry, but old Madoka just isn't going to stand up to the quintessential quintuplets. However, in the past, Bushiroad did make an effort to bridge this gap. Of course, I'm talking about power-up sets. These are expansions sold as standalone products that have a fixed set of cards that are designed to make the set, obviously, more powerful. This is often by adding cards that can either deal with some of the current meta mechanics, or just cards that have effects and tech that the old set was missing in a meaningful way. I mean, some of these sets didn't even have brainstormers that could search or salvage, or level 1 climax combos that added cards to your hand. So yeah, back in the day, these probably at least made those sets playable enough not to cry when you drew every opening hand. Bushiroad made several of these power-up sets in the past, and also released re-edit sets for many titles, where powerful and often hard to find cards were reprinted, and new cards were added alongside those to create a product that could really boost a set's capabilities. SAO Re-Edit is an example of one of those sets that came to English. Well, it's been a while, but we're actually getting 3 of the power-up sets in English that Bushiroad made. These are for Kill la Kill, Haruhi Suzumiya, and Log Horizon. And yeah, I'm willing to bet a lot of you newer Weiss players out there didn't even know those were titles in Weiss Schwarz, and I wouldn't fault you for it. They're very old. In fact, they're some of the first titles that ever came to English. Back when I started playing in 2017, I was seeing each of those across the board, but let's talk about exactly what a power-up set is. A power-up set is more than just cards. It's a really cool collector's item for people who like the titles. Each one of these power-up products comes with 8 new cards for the title and 4 promotional cards that existed back when the set was being released. You get 4 copies of each of the new cards and promos, and of 8 of the new ones, 1 out of 4 will be foil. Now, in addition to this, you get a unique top loader to display your favorite card, a deck box unique to the power-up set, and a storage box featuring the title you bought. Again, we're getting 1 unique power-up set for Haruhi, Kill la Kill, and Log Horizon, and each one definitely gives them tools that the sets were missing in their original printing, like level 1 climax combos, good early plays, and brainstorms. Now I want to be clear about something from the get-go. A question many of you might be asking is, if I buy these power-up sets, will I be able to play these old titles in the meta Weiss Schwarz decks and not want to throw my deck out the window? And the answer is no, you will not. These sets are very old, and likewise the power-up sets are also very old. They definitely don't stand up to the modern monsters of Weiss Schwarz, and that's so clear that there's no point in being any less blunt about it. That said, I don't want to knock this release at all. I would wager that 99% of English players thought we'd never see these cards officially come over, and even if they're not going to be played in any regionals or shop leagues, I'm really glad that people will be able to play these titles casually with a lot less pain. Further, I really want to emphasize that I'm not criticizing Bushiroad's decision to bring them to English. I think it's great that they're doing it, even if it is a few years late, and I want to see more power-up and re-edit sets come to Weiss Schwarz. There are a lot of big and popular titles that could use a leg up, and in the future, I hope Bushiroad decides to make more power-up and re-edit sets for all the players whose favorite titles may have been left behind a bit. Anyway though, let's talk about the cards in each of these power-up sets and see just what kind of improvements they offer compared to what the set had before them. First, let's look at Kill la Kill. So Kill la Kill was a set kinda split into the red and yellow Mako and Family and Ryuko package, and blue and green with the Satsuki and kind of Family package. Blue and red could also be combined pretty smoothly into a Ryuko and Satsuki deck, being that most of the tech cards, like the set's only Drop Searcher and Brainstormer, were on Satsuki and blue, and it was a draw Brainstormer at that. The set's only real early play was a 3/2 blue Satsuki whose condition was seeing 3 of a specific 2k1 climax in the waiting room, which didn't even do anything, and neither Satsuki, Mako, or even Ryuko had a plussing level 1 combo. Well, the power-up set changes a lot of this, thank god. First off, Ryuko gets a level 1 on-reverse salvage combo that goes with an existing stock soul climax. She's base 2k, but with a marker she becomes 6k. A 6k reverse combo is by no means anything to gawk at, but at least she has one now. Further, the set kind of gives a brainstorm alternative with this Mako and Ryuko. Once per turn, when you give something a marker, you can rest 2 characters and top check 4 and add a character. Kill la Kill, with the whole clothing theme, is very focused on markers, so you'll probably do this once every turn, and maybe once or twice on your opponent's turn. It's not really a replacement to an actual good brainstorm, but at least it's a way to plus, which Kill la Kill had virtually no way of doing before now. The power-up set also introduces a new 1/1 7500 Ryuko that has the same name as an existing 1/1 Ryuko that a level 0 anti-healing package Ryuko changes into. That old 1/1 is hot trash and does damage to you, but this 1/1 that you can replace it with actually gives you a free stock, so it makes the anti-heal package a lot better. And in the early play department, Ryuko now has her own 2 or less early play that lets you top check 3 for any card and even has a salvage combo with an existing climax. Fun fact, that existing climax also works with an existing 1-0 Ryuko that only did something if you were level 2, so you could technically build a full climax board with this and the new early play, but you'd have to run 3 climax combos if you wanted this, a plussing combo at 1, and a finishing combo. Speaking of finishing combos though, in blue, Satsuki has a new level 2 assister. When she comes in, you can choose a Junketsu in your waiting room to put it under her as a marker, which was a specific event that you ran in most Kill la Kill decks because it was a top check 4, and a marker target for several different cards. When you play the old Ryuko finisher, which was the primary finishing combo for the entire set, you can put the marker from under the new Satsuki in the waiting room, and then top check and add the top card under the old Ryuko as a marker. This is really helpful because that Ryuko burns X where X is markers, so it gives you a way to increase that number, thus making her hit harder. The other 3 new cards in the set are a better Satsuki Drop Searcher, a 2-1 Satsuki anti-early play, and a level 0 Senketsu that does more marker shenanigans. As for the promos, you get the old level 0 runner Ryuko, a 2-1 -1 soul backup Ryuko, a vanilla Nui, and a 1-0 Monkanchiko family card that you can make 8500 by pitching a card. Overall, the cards in the power-up set in Kill la Kill add a lot of sorely needed mechanics, and I can't wait to experiment and see what it's like playing with them. But let's move on. Now we'll talk about Log Horizon. Log Horizon was an extra booster, so it only had 2 colors and really only had 1 deck you could make with it. This was the Akatsuki and Shiroi deck that featured the 3-2 Shiroi that could give something -2 soul, which back then was very powerful. Its finishing combo was a burn 1 on reverse combo Akatsuki that also healed, and it had a great performance Naotsugu. Other than that, the deck didn't have much going for it. At the time, its level 3 was actually the most powerful in the game for a while, but the rest of the deck lacked anything good at all, even lacking a level 1 climax combo, a good early play, or even a searching or salvaging brainstormer. Well again, the power-up set fixes most of this. It does get a real rest self-searching brainstormer, which hard replaces the draw brainstormer the set had before. It also gets a 6k top check and add a character level 1 combo. Now this isn't even better than most things printed in today's trial decks, but at least now the set has one. One of the 8 cards is a new Pants Climax to go with this combo. Further, Akatsuki gets a real 2 or less early play that gets power and top checks X where X is characters for any card. This is incredibly helpful because before this, Log Horizon had no early plays. The other cards include some level 0s with basic abilities and a 2-1 anti-early play Tetra. As for the promos, you get 4 of each of the old 2-1 Akatsuki that gets a lot of power, a really cool 2-1 Nureha, I'm not actually sure, that gives a global level assist on your opponent's turn and can give something hand encore, a basic 1-1 Kanami, and a pay 2 salvage on play level 0 Isuzu. Now again, does this make Log Horizon playable again? No, not by a long shot, but these components were desperately needed for anyone who dared pick up the deck in the modern era. With these additions, it can at least run like a normal Weiss Schwarz deck. Finally, let's talk about Haruhi. Now, Haruhi is one of the oldest and arguably most non-functional Weiss Schwarz sets ever printed, but believe it or not, the set had a base expansion and an extra booster. It had 4 colors, though 2 basic decks to make, which were the blue Aliens deck that featured an on-reverse pay 1 draw 1 level 1 combo, and an early play with a climax combo to heal 1, and a red SOS Brigade deck that, well, it had some change effects and lets you call characters in the waiting room for a lot of stock, and its top end burns for 1 on a climax combo. Yeah, it doesn't do a ton. It does have an event modeled after the Endless 8 meme, where you can run 8 of it in your deck and it gives all your characters plus power as a backup based on the number that are in your memory, so that's kind of funny. Other than that, green and yellow are basically support colors, with Mikuru having some oddly good cards, like one that gives all your characters hand encore, and a level 3 that stops your opponent from playing climaxes next turn. Okay, so this is all pretty jank, but what does the power-up set give it? Well, to start off, it gives Haruhi a real brainstormer in red. It only gets SOS Brigade characters, so many of Yuki Nagato's cards won't work with it because they're not traded to SOS, but it definitely helps the red Haruhi deck a ton. It also gets a 1-0 Climax combo Haruhi, which on reverse lets you salvage and choose a level 1 or lower character in your opponent's center stage and put it in their waiting room. Kind of weird and fringe, but at least it's a plussing combo. It does get a new level 3 combo where when it attacks, you can sacrifice a character and reveal the top card of your deck. If you find a level 1 or higher character, you can place it on the stage. While it can't chain into itself, it's a potential multi-attack finish, which isn't terrible considering the only other finisher up until now was the burn 1 Climax combo. In green, Mikuru gets a early play 2 or less healer, and in blue, Nagato gets a level 0 Riki and a level 1 stage backup for 3k. So most of the new cards are designed to help Haruhi, but there is some Nagato stuff in there. The promos are actually a bit different though. Haruhi has a ton of promos that we didn't get when the set came over, because back then they were considered way too powerful. In fact, some of these were completely banned in Japan in the early days. For starters, we get the famous Emo Swing, as players took to calling it. This is a 2-1 event where you sacrifice a level 1 or higher character, replace it with a level 0 from your waiting room, and then salvage 2 characters. Yup, that's the text on the card. And Jesus Christ, if that was printed in a set today, it would be considered one of the best events ever printed. Also, we get the 3-2 Swimsuit Haruhi and Mikuru promo. When it comes into play, you can pitch a card and salvage 2 of the Endless 8 events we talked about before. And as an act ability, you can put 8 Endless 8 events from your memory into the waiting room, and then burn one 8 times. Okay, that's a lot stronger than I thought it would be. You have to play the event 8 times to set this up, which means play every single one in your deck, but that's hilarious. It doesn't even need a climax combo. You know what? I can see someone legit losing to the Endless 8 meme deck with all those new tools. That's actually incredible. Invest in red meme Haruhi, I guess. Anyway, with a little bit of unexpected cool stuff at the end, that summarizes the 3 power-up sets coming on the 10th of March this year. It's worth reiterating that these power-up sets don't make these old titles into new powerhouses. At the end of the day, they're from a different era of Weiss Schwarz, and so are these now translated power-up sets. However, the fact that Bushi is releasing them is still very cool, and maybe it's a sign of more to come in terms of keeping older sets relevant. If you collect any of these titles, the items that come with the power-up sets and the cards themselves make excellent additions. And if you happen to play any of the old Log Horizon, Killer Killer, or Haruhi decks, these new cards give you a great reason to break them out again and have a fun time. But that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and whether or not you decide to play these old sets, it's a fun time to check out the new tools and tricks that Bushi decided to give them back in the day. And who knows, maybe an Endless 8 Haruhi meme deck will top Worlds in 2023. And as always, thanks for watching. Peace.